All right, buddy. This is this is kind of off the cuff here. I am going live for a post-market wrap-up on this crazy day. This has been some absolutely off the Richter scale day today. Um, it is just about 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. How you doing over there? I'm gonna ride this market close with all of you because it's been quite a day on Wall Street. And I want to put a perspective on a whole bunch of things. So let's start off with this. As I am doing this video blog, in fact, I'm going to show you all live what I'm talking about here. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is only down 62 points. It was down 35 just a couple of minutes ago. Earlier today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down to 548 points. Is that some kind of miraculous turnaround? Look, there's some crazy stuff going on here, and I outlined this for you in the video that I did this morning. I wrote, "Is this the big one?" Look, it's so easy to find out to see that this was not the big one, and you all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the bond market. You saw what they did this morning. Epic freaking bond buying. Off the Richter scale, that put a floor under stocks. And then, of course, they floated out another story here, how there's going to be President Trump is meeting with the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China. You know who that is? How many of you know who I'm talking about? Who's the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China? Do you know who that is? Let's see. I'm going to wait. Well, that's the real name for President Xi. Most people don't know that President XI, however you say that, is the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China. It's crazy, but it's the truth. Look, he has to be the president, especially here. It's told to the American people because it's okay for President Trump to talk to President Xi. But if President Trump is talking to the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, well, people might think that's not so good. But again, it's all about the wording. It's kind of like the stock market. Oh, it's not overvalued. You know that. It's overinvested. You can't make this stuff up, but it's really the truth. Let's have a look. Let's see what things are doing here. My mind is blown today, but I'm not surprised at all to see this turnaround. Absolutely incredible. Let's see, 10-year yield, 3.16. They're making sure they keep that suppressed. Cryptos are down a little bit across the board. But isn't this just kind of funny, man? You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh. You see this stuff. And the way it's all twisted and fake. So look, I know all of you out here are smart enough to not be laser focused on the Dow Jones Industrial Average like the COD wants you to be. And I'm proud to say that I know all of you out here are watching the bond market. When you saw this sell-off this morning, how many of you out here looked at the bond market first? I hope that's a bunch of you. And I have it set up for you right on my website, traderschoice.net. Look at that 10-year yield. What's it doing? When we start to see, again, and it's right before this, like literally like 5 minutes ago, I was talking to your friend and mine. Actually, we did a whole interview. It's about a half an hour long, I think, with Greg Hunter. We talked about a whole bunch of good stuff. It's going to be out later today, I think 9 o'clock. Pacific Standard Time. So I hope you catch that. I'll place a link to that. Yeah. Look at you guys and girls with your hands up. I love all of you. You guys and girls you're all my friends. You're all my friends. And that means something to me. It really does. Friendship is one of those things that you can take with you. Not any of this other crap that's coming down the pike here and all this nonsense that's going on geopolitically, how our leaders are freaking, trying to keep our leaders. Our leaders. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Aren't we supposed to be the leaders? Like I always been saying for the longest time, isn't this a government, of the people, by the people, for the people? We are the leaders. Not any of these people who sit in nice, pretty white houses. We are the leaders. When are we going to start to realize that? We got to take back our country. Let me tell you something. It's the truth. We can't rely on any one party to do it, any one person to do this. This is us. We are the government. That was the great, look, people don't seem to understand here. The creation of our country, America, the concept of a government of the people, by the people, for the people was unheard of at the time that our founding fathers brought this concept here in the United States together. People were ruled by kings at that time. No, there was a better way to do it. Yeah. And we don't want any king here in America. We don't want any ruling party here in America, do we? How many of you want a ruling party here in America? How many of you out here believe that we the people are the government? I want to see some freaking hands here, because that's the truth. We are the government. We need to take it back. This is insane. We can't let this crap go on any longer. Inept people, and I'm talking about from the top down, trying to push their agenda down our throats. I don't know about you, but I've had enough. I really have. And all this nonsense that's going on here in these markets here, and how they have to twist the wording of everything. Oh, you're not allowed to know. You're not allowed to know President Xi's real title. You're not supposed to know that. Imagine. That should be the challenge of the day. Ask your family members, how many know that President Xi is actually, let me see if I can get this right, the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China. If even one of your family members know that, I would be kind of surprised. But again, it's how they twist it. You're not supposed to know that. These are supposed to be legitimate, democratic, whatever, republic leaders joining hands together, singing Kumbaya. No, it's not the case. I'm sorry. And their ideology is a lot different than ours. It's really true. Let's do another live market recheck. Oh boy, look at that. Look at that. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is only down 45 points. Hell, they might even push this positive. They might push it positive. Incredible. Incredible. Well, anyway, look, and I know that none of this is real. It is absolutely fake. The markets are rigged. And unfortunately, it is going to be the middle class here that suffers. Because why? Well, we've let this happen. We have let this happen. And like I said just a minute ago, I've had enough. I have had enough of this. It's just too much here. Look, I don't think, I'm just looking at the comments here. It went positive. I don't think anybody wants to see a full-on collapse here. Look, think of what that means. If we really do careen into this wall at hypersonic speed, this is not just a financial problem, people. This is a resource issue that we're going to face. Not that there's not enough resources to go around, but because we transact in pieces of paper with numbers printed on them that really have no value, when we hit that wall here, those dollars that you're holding are going to lose a hell of a lot of value. How are you going to support your family in a situation like that? A lot of people are going to resort to violence in the streets of every nation on this planet. And I think you're aware of that. It's just a terrible, terrible thing to think. And a lot of people are going to lose their lives here, people. It's an incredible situation. Anyway, we'll see. We got 22 minutes left in the trading day. We're going to do this together. So let's just sit back and enjoy this whole thing here and just take it all in. The collapse of empires. You know what? Yeah, in many, many ways, it is the collapse of empire. Empires that have run amok. Empires that have lost their direction here. Empires that were supposed to be run by the people, that have allowed central banks who are in bed with their respective leader, the one that we put up there on the pedestal, to run the show here. And that's a disgusting thing. We need to take the whole entire system back. We need to take it down. That's the truth. It's got to go. And look, understand this. Unfortunately, unless there is a revolution, a synchronized revolution on a global scale, world central banks and their respective morons, I mean leaders that are running the world with them, they're going to keep fleecing everybody. So, look, I believe that most of you understand we cannot put our faith in any one freaking human being on this planet. And the more faith you put into any one freaking person on this freaky planet, the worse off you're going to be. We don't need kings. We don't need queens, dictators, monarchs. Again, it's our show. It's all up to us. And what are they doing to us? They're making sure they keep us divided by everything that they can, by age, by hair color, if they could. We've seen that before. You know, the Aryan race, remember that? By everything you can think about, they're going to keep us divided. But we have to understand that that's not the case. We are all members of the same family. Members of the same family. And you know, what I always tell you, love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. Well, yeah. Don't just sit back here and think that you're just a sheep that's laying down here for the slaughter. No. We're the boss. We are the boss. We don't need to follow someone following around in some big, beautiful blue and white jet. No, it's us. It's us. All right, let's just realize that. Yeah, trust your dog. Trust your dog. Where's my dog? My dog was just back here on this little couch I got. She hangs out with me all day. I got 2 dogs. I lost one, well, it seems like recently, but last September, still miss the little guy. Anyway, it's kind of funny. So I get up in the morning, I have my breakfast, do what I got to do. And like I said, I got 2 dogs. And my one dog, Dolly, she, let me see if I can find a picture of her for you. She kind of hangs out with me downstairs and waits for me to come up here to my office because that's where I get my work done. And I'm having a hard time with this here. Sorry. I'm going to find you a picture. Hold on a minute. I really love these little guys. I really do. Trust your dog. Absolutely. Let me see. These are my 2 dogs here. The one in the further back here, this one here is Dolly. That's Vega. I'll show you something else too. While we're on this subject, let's see. This is kind of fun, isn't this? This is my dog that died recently. At least it seems recent to me. Awful. It's terrible to lose a dog, It's really the truth. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. What are you going to do? Hey, you all know who this guy is, don't you? Oh, wow. Here's my mom's dog. That's too much. This is the charity event I was at with me and my wife. Anyway, I believe in being charitable. You all know that. It's so important to pay it forward, to I don't know. Understand that there's more to life than this crap that they're shoving down our throats. Yeah, this monkey is stupid. What's it doing? Did it fall another 500 points? Let's see. What do we got on the lovely live? Let's see, live. We're going down again. Not, down 93. It's a far cry from 548. We almost made it positive for the Dow. The NASDAQ actually did go positive. Isn't that crazy? You like hot dogs. I like hot dogs too. When I lived in Brooklyn when I was a kid. We used to go to the Nathan's over there. Oh, they had some good hot dogs. They had those little crinkle fries. You know what I'm talking about? They used to give you like a little yellow fork with 2 prongs on it. Tell me that wasn't good. Tell me that wasn't good. I think it was amazing. Let's see here. Absolutely. Look, the market is what it is. The market's going to go up and down and backwards and sideways. And the cod over there, they're gonna try to scare you. And look, that's kind of one of the reasons why. If you notice my demeanor this morning when I did the video, I was kind of trying to be calm. I was like, I don't want people to get worried here. There's no reason to panic. And again, the reason why I wasn't panicking at all was the first thing I did. Look, let me put this into another perspective for you. Throughout the night, if I get up for whatever reason, I sit here and I check the futures on my lovely iPhone over here. So I'm like, whoa, this is pretty bad. But then I go and I say, what is the bond market doing? 10-year yield, 3.12. I'm not worried, and I didn't want any of you to be worried either. That does not mean that you should not be cautious all the time, especially, look, according to the COD, the market's not overvalued, it's overinvested. Big difference there, and so we understand that this fake environment is going to become real at one point. It's just not ready yet. It will become real when we get an uncontrolled sell-off in the bond market. And don't listen to Greg Mannarino on this deal. Listen to guys like Alan Greenspan. Listen to multi-billionaire hedge funds managers who are saying the same thing. Bud Fox. You remember that guy's name, huh? My heart breaks for that. Oh, man. Did I even tell you the story about what happened that day? Let me tell you about what happened real quick. If you're into dog stories, I'll try to summarize real quick. He had been sick a little bit. He had like a virus. He was having like some loose stool. So we brought him to the vet. The vet checked him out. Said, it's probably a virus. Maybe we'll change his food. Let's do some blood work. Everything was fine. Everything was fine. So he seemed to be recovering. So that morning, the morning that he died, me and my wife took our 3 dogs at the time out for a little stroll. Little guy seemed great. He was absolutely perfect. And he was happy. He was running all over the place. And then I was in the office and I was working. And then I hear my wife say, hey, Greg, could you come out here in a very kind of calm, but I can tell something was wrong kind of a voice. So I was like, all right. So I walk outside and I see the dog, Bud Fox, laying there on the floor. And he just looked like he had like a 1,000-yard stare. You know what I'm talking about? Like you military people out here. So I'm looking at him. He just seemed wrong. I said, call the doctor. Call her right now. His doctor's name is Dr. Love. Sweetest person you'd ever want to meet. It's the truth. So she wasn't there. So I'm looking at him. I said, we got to take this dog in now. Tell them we're bringing the dog in on an emergency. He was like listless. So we brought him in there. And so the doctor came out immediately as we were walking through the door, literally grabbed the dog, who was pretty much lifeless at that point. He was just hanging there. Brought him in the back. And so the doctor put us in a room, me and my wife, and I knew something was very bad here. I did practice medicine for 20 years. So you get a feel for these kinds of things. So doctor comes in after a few minutes. He goes, what happened? I explained to him, we were just walking the dog. He was fine. Then we came back from the walk and then we just found him like this. He goes, did he eat anything? Did he get poisoned? He goes, I'm telling you right now, this dog is in really bad shape. So he goes, we're working on him. We're putting fluids in him. We're going to do a scan on his belly, see what we can find. So doctor does that and he comes back. Apparently the dog had some kind of a tumor or something on the spleen, which burst and he was bleeding out into his belly. And they couldn't save him. So anyway, I'm going to get choked up just thinking about it. So that was it. I had to let him go. Anyway, enough about dogs before I start crying in front of all you on live freaking whatever this thing is. Anyway, what's the market doing? Let's look. Let's look and laugh. All right. We're still down a little bit. Not by that much here. Let's see what the bonds are doing. Actually, I have it punched up here. 10-year yield. My computer's really weird today. Anybody else? Very strange. 3.16, staying about the same. The dollar is down. Of course, you'd expect stocks to be higher. Weaker dollar, as you all know. Bonds stabilizing. What would you expect? Would you expect stocks to be down 600 points? Of course not, especially when you have a managed market. It's all fake. It's fake. It's all freaking fake. I don't even know what language that is. I am so sorry. I don't know how to convert that into English. Anybody know what that says? I don't know. Yeah, that's right. Metals will fall tomorrow. Look, the metal market, it's not real. How many banks again have been caught rigging precious metals in the past year? Like 5? It's incredible. And nothing happens. No, you get paper getting dumped onto the market. Unlimited. They have unlimited amounts of paper or digits to dump onto the market because it's not even paper. It's just digits. It doesn't exist. It's not on the elemental chart. You know that. I don't know, man. I tell you. Yeah, you know what? Look, let's talk about that real quick. Yeah, global markets are in a lot of trouble. Look, we're all in a lot of trouble. Do you think any of this is real? None of it's real. How can we prove right here and right now that the environment we are in globally is not real? Well, let's think back. Just in 2008, what happened? We had world central banks in a coordinated effort. This wasn't just the Fed who got in here and started buying up bonds like there was no tomorrow, propping up their stock markets, literally creating an environment of risk. Understand? And I covered this with Greg Hunter, which you're going to see that interview. It's coming out tonight. By world central banks suppressing rates, what does it do? It literally opens up a doorway for cash to move into the stock market. It's a deliberately engineered environment of risk. Cash flows into the stock market. It doesn't go into assets where it should be going into. So the environment we are in is 1,000 gazillion% fake. It's been reinflated by hyperinflating a debt bubble. So this is not real. Wake up and smell the coffee if you're not here already. But that's the environment we're in. It's going to correct, but you're not going to be looking at the stock market for the big one. Is the stock market going to have corrections like this, like we've been seeing? We haven't even really seen an actual correction in a very long time. But the big one is going to happen in the bond market. The big one is going to happen in the bond market with an uncontrolled sell-off. So the first thing you do when you see action like this is look at the 10-year yield. If it's doing what it's doing now and you see them buying up those bonds, you know what they're doing. They're putting in a floor. And then they float out the fake stories like we were talking about. You hear about, the distractions. Oh, there's going to be a 10%, tax cut for the middle class. Meanwhile, debts and deficits will continue to explode to the upside. So let's say we're going to cut taxes, but we're going to continue to spend into oblivion. Really? No, that's not the way it should be working. But, they want you to feel good. And today, again, it was floated out there that there may be some talks here between, I don't even remember what his name is here, Xi Jinping, whatever his freaking name is, the president, who's actually the general secretary of the Communist Party of China. Yeah, that's who President Trump is going to talk to. Oh, yeah, they're going to have a real meeting of the minds. They're going to cuddle like this. Look. Imagine Ping and Trump. Wow. All right, where are we here? Ping, ping, bong. Look, I'm not making fun of the guy, but I don't know how to say his name. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. Oh, God. Let's see. All right, everyone. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. That was down 106, 113. Still a far cry from 548, don't you think? Man, it would have been fun to see this go positive, don't you think? I would have been laughing my rear end off. I'm still laughing my rear end off because it's just too much. It's out of control. Yeah, it's cartoonish, exactly. I don't know what we're pulling out of. Yeah, who knows? We just got to realize the charade. I think we do, for the most part. We all understand what's going on here. It's just so in our face, utterly stupid. Stupid. Will Europe be as bad? Of course. Look, the European debt crisis. How many of you believe or were led to believe that the European debt crisis was fixed? How did they fix the European debt crisis? Well, let's see. They added monumentally more debt onto the debt problem. Same thing that they did here in the United States. Let me tell you something. It's really a shame what has happened here. All that needed to be done, honestly, and there's a mechanism behind this, and this is why it's being instituted. 2008, when the markets were correcting to fair value, they were just trying to do its own one and only job. The market works if we allow it to work. If we have a managed market like we have now, it doesn't work. It creates distortions. If the market globally were allowed to, melt down like they did, Dow would have stabilized at one particular time. However, the fly in the ointment was the credit market freeze. When the credit markets froze up in 2008, what that did was it stopped transactions. Businesses could not run. You would not have been able to go to the bank and take out cash. It would have not been there. ATMs would have stopped working. They had to free up the credit markets. I'll give them that. Once they got the credit markets unfrozen, which we're going to face again during the next meltdown, which is coming. Again, this is nothing new. It's a cycle. The market runs in cycles. You know that. Risk on, risk off. Risk on, risk off. We're on a risk on environment by rates being suppressed. You understand? We got to stop this. We got to stop suppressing rates into oblivion like this. The Fed is massively, massively, massively behind the curve for a reason. It's allowed cash to flow into the stock markets. CEOs who get paid in stock have gotten extremely wealthy under this, and they want to keep it going. They want to keep it going. It's got to stop. We need a normal market. This guy in front of you, probably more than anybody, I know a lot of you out here, want a real market. We need a real market. We don't want this fake crap. Is it easy to make money in the fake market? Yeah, it's very easy to make money in a fake market. That's the point. But I want a real market. And I know you do too. There's no way you don't want it. So you have to understand, there's something else going on here. If they've reinflated an epic bubble in the stock market on back of an epic bubble in the bond market, well, what's going to happen when this corrects to a fair value? Middle class will be evaporated. And I think that's the whole point. We're going back to a two-tier society. Like I have explained to you, the middle class, this is a new thing in the grand scheme of history. It's been a two-tier society for a very long time. That's what they want. The haves, the have-nots. This is a mechanism to fleece the middle class. We cause a lot of problems, the middle class here. We cause a lot of problems for those at the upper echelon of society. The poor people down at the bottom, they don't have a pot to piss in. But the middle class here, they want our wealth. They want to steal it, and they're going to, just like they did last time. But if on my watch, I'm not going to let this happen. I promise all of you from my heart of hearts that I will keep all of you on top of this. And when the big one comes, we're going to know. Because, well, you guys are going to know before me. You already know. You're already experts in the bond market. You're already experts in the dollar. If you follow my work, you're already stock market experts as far as I'm concerned. You know already. Spread the word. Get it out there. Understand that we are all responsible for each other, people. It's so important. We're not the pawns that they want us to be. We're not. We're a lot more than that. We're human beings. We're members of the human race. That's true. And we're only here temporarily. Remember that too. So it's important for us to take care of future generations, not steal from them through this mechanism that we have. Think of how bizarre it is. The system, the central banking system that's colluding with our leaders right now, it's designed to steal from the future just to sustain where we are. We have to steal more and more in greater and greater amounts just to maintain where we are. Does that sound like a good thing to you? Does that sound like something we want to give to our future generations? Again, we're just temporary riders on this planet. We're not going to be here, none of us, in X amount of years. It's very sad, but it's the truth. Let's see what we got here. We got 1 minute left in the lovely market. Even my cell phone is weird. All right, we're down 121 on the Dow. Very nice. You don't feel like an expert. You are an expert. There's no doubt about it. How many people have a perspective on the market the way that you do? If you follow this blog, you knew exactly, more than likely, how this market was going to play out today because you were watching the bond market. Well, everyone else is, let's look at the stock market. Let's focus on that. Oh, yeah. Closing bell went off. How nice. Let's see. I'm looking at the card here. Let's see if we can turn up the volume. Oh, yeah, this is Morgan Brennan. Hi, Morgan Brennan. All right, so look, the stock's finished down here today, people. All right, Dow was down 548 points at the low. I would call this a pretty miraculous turnaround, wouldn't you? It's all a miracle because it's all fake. You know that. I'm not saying miracles are fake. I'm saying this is fake here. So the Dow, let's see, it's going to settle out. Let's see what the Dow settles at, because everyone focuses on the Dow. You know that. They're not showing me yet. They're showing. All right, look, percentage. The Dow finished down 0.5%. S&P 0.55%. Russell 2000 The Russell 2000 have been taking a pretty large spanking lately. This is our companies here based in America. That's pretty sad if you ask me. It's supposed to be a booming economy. Remember, I heard that somewhere. I'm not going to rely on the card here. I hate listening to them. I hate their voices. All right, let's see. This is how we ended up the day. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 126 or down 0.5. S&P 500 down 15.2 points or 0.55. NASDAQ down 0.42 or 31. Big freaking deal. All the hype, all the crap, all the nonsense, whatever. All right, look, this has been interesting. I love all of you guys and girls. I mean that. I love you all. Going to call it for today, but I'll see you in the morning. I promise you I will. And you know what it's going to be? In a word, lovely. See you in the morning. Bye-bye.